which phase of life you are going to enter into the spirituality, the true spirituality. Going to temples or lighting lamps and diyas in the home is a part of spirituality, but not the true spirituality until unless you are going. So basically, Losho Grid is a 3 by 3 numerological chart that maps the energies of numbers 1 to 9, like relationship, career, personal growth. Is covered, we are able to see in the grid that how a person's life could be if this number is missing or if this number is repeated. The people who are born before 2000, calculation like this. People who are born after 2000 or on 2000, for females we add any number plus 6 and we subtract it from 9. So this is how the Losho grid is made. Person is too materialistic or too goal oriented. There can be arrogance, there can be ego, high ego, or if one is repetitive more than 3 times, that person can, if someone has more than 2 7 in their grid, that person is have interest in life after death. Some numerologists say that Losho grid is a birth chart. Losho grid is not the birth chart. Losho grid only tells you celebs also, like Mukesh Ambani have a karmic debt number in his date of birth, I guess, but he has learned that lesson and he has overcome that, and we all know that where he has reached as a market leader.
In the mystical world of numerology, very few names shine as bright as Nidhi Bansal. She's a renowned numerologist who has transformed plenty of lives. Today, she joins me to unravel the world of the Losho grid, a Chinese form of numerology, and pranic healing. With her profound knowledge, Nidhi is not just an expert, but a beacon for transformation, guiding individuals to unlock their true potential and discover what the universe has in offer for them. Let's chat with Nidhi Bansal. Hello Nidhi, welcome to Inner Habit. Thank you for being here. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Shruti. I'm so glad that you have invited me here. And as I told you, that this is something new for me. Though such things are happening, but I am kind of, I've not done this earlier. So, if I want to add here, you're an ardent believer of Sai, as I can see. So, he has definitely made a way for me through, someone who is following him. That's his way, that's how he conspires.
I have this very interesting relationship with both Sai Babas actually. I went for a bhajan, Sai satsang, and during that satsang, I was praying. It was just before my O-level exams. And during that, what happened was I saw this bright light, a flower fell. And I saw this bright light shine in my face. And the first thing you can do is only, do that. And at that moment, I felt his presence. So for me, I feel connected to both of them in tremendous ways.
Yeah, that's nice to hear, because everyone's experience is different. And where from, which phase of life you are going to enter into the spirituality, the true spirituality, going to temples or lighting lamps and diyas in the home, and just doing any kind of reading scriptures is a part of spirituality, but not the true spirituality until unless you are going deep inside you. And there is a process for everything. Some people tend to lose or leave the bad habits they are into, from the starting of the process only. Something, sometimes there are a lot of things like anger, feeling of jealousy for others, and there are multiple things which a human goes through. So the entering into spirituality, the right manner or right indication that you have reached somewhere is that you are leaving all the inhibitions and all these things behind. And once you've been behaving like in a certain manner, and now you're behaving in an entirely different manner, which is giving you peace, and the person who is in front of you is also feeling peaceful. That's the right spirituality, rather than going to a temple every day, which I feel. So this is it, and I feel that this is something of a starting of a new phase for me as I'm talking to you. So all over to you.
I'm grateful that you feel that way, and I'm grateful that you did connect with me, because I've got to be honest, it is beautiful for us to connect, particularly because of what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Losho grid, which is a Chinese form of numerology. So to start us off with, what is Loshu grid and how does it work?
Basically, the Losho grid is rooted in Chinese mythology, Shruti, where a turtle with a mystical grid pattern on its shell appeared on the low river when king was facing some major flood issue in his kingdom. So this pattern, believed to be a divine message, became the foundation of the Losho grid. It symbolizes balance, cosmic order, and the harmonious flow of universal energy, playing an essential role in feng shui and numerology. So basically, Losho grid is a 3 by 3 numerological chart that maps the energies of numbers 1 to 9. Numerology, in numerology also, we mainly look into numbers from 1 to 9. So in Losho, derived from the person's birth date, it reveals personality traits, strengths, weakness, life patterns. Each number has a designated position in the grid, and their presence or their presence, be it one number or repetitive or missing numbers, provides insights into different aspects of life like relationship, career, personal growth. Everything is covered. We are able to see in the grid that how a person's life could be if this number is missing or if this number is repeated. So I have made a little do you want me to share how the calculation is done?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I already have your birth date and did some calculations. I'll just try to show you here. Just 1 minute. Initially, what we do is that we take the date of birth, and are you able to see this? So initially, we take the date of birth like this, and then we have to bring it down birth date, that is the date of the date which you are born on, third. Then comes the life path. Life path is basically the total of your date of birth which you are born on. So life path over here is 8 for you. Okay, if you just do the sum of 3, 12 and 1982, it comes to 8. That is your life path. Then the last number comes to is the Kua number. This is very essential number. I will explain to you why going forward. In this, we will only be taking the last two numbers of the year you were born in, 82. Okay, so after taking this, the number came to 10. We have to reduce it to one root number, that comes to 1. In case of females, we will be adding 1 plus 5 into that. In case of males, we will be subtracting it from 10. The people who are born before 2000, we do calculation like this. People who are born after 2000 or on 2000, for females we add 1, we add any number plus 6 and we subtract it from 9. So this is how the Losho grid is made. After the Losho grid is made, now from this grid I will be basically, there is a grid in which it looks like this, and as per your numbers which are there in your date of birth and the calculation I have done it, I will be making your grid. This is the actual grid, okay, the original grid. And now I will be seeing which numbers are missing for you. For you, I don't see a 4. 9 is definitely there. 2 is repeated twice, so I'm writing double 2. 3 is there. 5 isn't there. 7 isn't there. 8 is there, and 1 is repeated thrice, and 8 is also twice, and I can't see 6 also. So these are the numbers which are there in your grid and which are missing in your grid. For 4 is not there. 5, 6 and 7 are there. So they carry different meaning. Every number which holds specific energies. 1 leads to leadership, independence, ambition. 1 also helps a person in career planning, because we generally, we who are born in 1982 and something, 78, 81, everyone have 1. Well, kids who are born after 2000, they don't have 1 in their grids. So they may lack the ability to choose what career they have to go. 1 gives that confidence. 1 is also related to sun. Second, partnership, cooperation, sensitivity. Number 2 is a very important number when it comes to marriage initiative and happiness also. So देखो, if I try to talk a little or share a little about this grid, what this grid means, and how to what we can perceive with this grid. So there are different planes. The first grid, if we look at 492, okay, this grid is mind plane. 357 is the soul plane or emotional plane. 816 is the practical plane. Then again 438, whatever things you are doing in life, are they getting completed or not? 951, how determined a person is. You know, someone says that your willpower is very strong. So this comes from this grid. Then 276, again I am dividing this in different planes. So first horizontal line of 492, as I told you, person's intellect, ability to think and analyze. If anyone has all three numbers in the Losho grid, the person will have a rational approach to life. Second line of numbers, now in your case 4 is missing. That again, is a point of debate, that person to person we ask them, what do you feel that such thing is missing in your life. Second line of number 357, make the spiritual or emotional plane. It represents the person's feelings, intuition, instincts. Sometimes someone, now can I ask you, do you feel that there is less of emotional balance, or do you feel that you think one day you're thinking this XYZ things, and the next day you are thinking entirely different from what you have decided?
No, I'm pretty good with that. Like when I know.
It definitely improves as per the age, but if in the starting of your career, or you're starting on your productive years, there can be some, definitely there will be some confusion which is coming, because this really leads to balance and stability. And also one thing more I would like to add, sorry, it also depends now in if you are married, maybe you are getting this number from your person's from your companion's grid. That also makes difference, that also adds up. Now too many 357 in the emotional planes means logical thinking is missing. So every number missing or every number repetitive also carries a lot of meaning. Material or practical plane, number 816 are arranged in the last line and represent the practical plane. They also mean person is too materialistic or too goal oriented. There can be arrogance, there can be ego, high ego, or if one is repetitive more than 3 times, that person can have issues in making right decisions in life. So this is how it goes. 492, if I again go, 4 is also related to security, ancestral blessings, wealth, prosperity in the life. 9, south direction, fame, humanity, energy in the life. 2, as I told you, it is related to cooperation, love. This is southwest. So if number 2 is missing, we see that there can be issues in marriage or issues in partnership. Then according to that, the remedies are given. 3 is definitely a very beautiful number. It is related to Jupiter also. So creativity, connectivity, emotional, personal balance and growth of the person. 5, center. It is every number is important, but depends that what kind of person, human being you are, and if this number is missing, how it will impact you. 5th is fortune, balance, stability. My 5th is missing, and believe you me, until unless I have done the remedies of Losho grid, which is 7 years back, I was definitely a wishy-washy person, thinking something today, something else, and it is not me. Maybe the circumstances used to create in my life that I was not able to stick to one decision in my life. So 7 number over it is written children, creativity, disappointments, but we also see as mental peace, as your parents as your relationship with your parents. And if someone has more than 2 7 in their grid, that person is really connected to have interest in life after death. Lot of spiritual connection of this person if this number is double, more than 7 once or twice. So in your case it is missing though. Now again it depends on person to person. Number 8, I feel this number is very important when it comes to knowledge. Whatsoever you have you are doing, getting things reaching to fruition. If number 8 is missing in anyone's grid, that also, this problem also comes in your life, that creativity, inspiration, things reaching to fruition can be missing. Number 1, as I just told you, it is related to sun, thinking ability, decision making, taking new initiatives, having more money in life. That can be missing if number 1 is not there. Last number 6, it is written traveling, but it also brings favorable circumstances in your life, and it also improves relationship. If this number is missing, there can be relationship issues again. There was one example. There was a person who came to me and he told me, Nidhi, I'm having so many of losses in my business. Please help me with this. And I asked him to put a wind chime in the northwest direction, 6 rod, golden metallic wind chime. He came after 2 months. He said, okay, fine, my business is also flourishing. My relationship has also improved. I just started this. I am a corporate person, and I came into this field after 20 years of corporate, and this was initially kind of, learning spree for me. And I was like, I was wondering, oh my god, so placing a wind chime in northwest also improves relationships. So this was one example which came in front of me. So this is how it goes. Now, if we look at it, it's a very wide thing. Now, what is if I ask, okay, fine, 9 number person, if 9 number is missing, humanitarian, compassion, vision, that kid may be missing that vibe of connecting to others. Parents come to me that my kid is not able to go and make friends. Then I say, okay, oh fine, 9 number is missing, go and paste your kid's picture in the south direction. This will give him fame also, and a phoenix picture. So there are different elements which we add according to the missing numbers.
So now you used, did you actually add also the birth date, single birth date, and do you also add, you said the, was it Koshu grid, Koshu number as well? You added, and I had 1 in there. You also put all that in here? 1 number, yeah. Do you actually put that in here as well?
Yes. That also goes in the grid. So main numbers are BD, then the LP, and the Kua number also goes in there, and the number 3, 1, 2, 1, 9, 8, 2 also are put in the grid itself. If they are repeated, then I will be putting the repeating numbers.
So you actually put 1982, because I heard that some people don't put the 19 on there.
Some people don't put, but I have learned, from where I have learned, we definitely put 1982, all the numbers in there. And my guru, she's a numeroscientist, and I fully trust her.
No, that's good, because I've been like, obviously you do your...
I want to add up in this. In numerology also, there are 32 schools. The schools which are famous are Kabbalah, Chaldean, Pythagorean. Okay, these are the most used schools at present. In Pythagorean also, there are different concepts which people follow. So my guru, I will take her name here, Dr. Priyanka Gode. And I have learned a lot of compassion and groundedness from her. And she always said, Nidhi, fine, we will see a lot of people, some numerologists say that Losho grid is the birth chart. Losho grid is not the birth chart. Losho grid only tells you which elements are missing in your life, and by placing those remedies, these are also known as, now Losho grid is one part, and from the Kua number, we can give the feng shui cure also. So there are different aspects, and how, from where you have learned, how correct is that goes a long way, Shruti. We cannot go behind everyone. Okay, fine, you are saying right and you are not saying right. All it matters to me, because I was a person who started in 2019 end. And obviously, I was not very... I don't have any shame to tell that I was never meant for corporate world. So I came into this field, and when I started doing it, I am an ardent believer of Baba. I used to say, yeah, why I am doing all this? I'm a believer of Baba. Let him take care of things, and I don't want to do this. And then my first guru, she is my friend also, and she came and she asked me, Nidhi, please learn tarot. I said, I can't learn things now at this age. I'm so sorry. I can't learn. Sorry. She again came back to me after 3 months, Nidhi, please do this. Your life will change. I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. And my daughter said, Mama, do it for me. And I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. I started learning it. tarot came, then Losho came, then numerology came, and then I kept on adding feathers into my cap by pranic healing, by learning so many of different aspects of numerology. It's vast. So every person coming from when I started doing it and when I started getting experiences of clients, okay, fine, their life is changing, they're getting benefits out of it, my faith kept on growing stronger. So this is where it comes.
So when the numbers are not present, are there any missing numbers? Are there any sort of remedies that can be done to fix this?
Missing numbers in Losho, again, now person will tell us we are having this kind of problem in our life. Sometimes if in your grid, if I'll ask you, 4 number is missing, do you feel that it represents wood element? It relates to wealth and fortune? I'll ask you, do you feel that there is, we all feel that wealth is less in our life. 4 also is related to new opportunities. It is southeast direction. Southeast direction mostly is the wealth direction, right? So doing elements, adding elements, doing some rituals in southeast direction will definitely help you in adding more growth and prosperity and ancestral blessings also. So depending on person to person, we ask what is missing and then the remedies are given.
So how can someone use the Losho grid for personal growth and self-improvement then?
As I just told you, that missing numbers represents lessons, growth opportunities. For example, missing number 5 lead to difficulties with change and adaptability also, stability. While a missing 9 could indicate challenges in expressing compassion, long-term vision, that zeal, 9 number, if we ask someone to put a phoenix picture, what do you mean by that? Phoenix represents compassion, going out of the way for anything. These gaps can manifest as personality traits or recurring life patterns. So awareness is the first step. Once identified, you can work on developing the qualities associated with those numbers through focused efforts such as adopting new habits, practicing affirmations, or incorporating symbolic elements. If I say, okay, fine, my grid, number 5 was missing. I've done my remedy. There are certain remedies for number 5, like I would like to add here. We tell people to keep a picture of mountain without water. That represents stability. Definitely. Also, we ask that person to think, if you feel that you are going to take a decision and you are how you are behaving with other person. Do you feel that if even I have to go on a party and I used to think 3 different things about that party, jaun, nahi jaun, what kind of confidence I will have, do I have that kind of clothes? Just do it, try and do it, and try and come out of your comfort zone, and you will see there are new beginnings, there are new things which are coming your way. So again, depending on person to person, we ask that how, if this number are missing from your grid, how is it related to you? Do you feel that this is impacting you? And if the person lacks the prominent characteristics associated with that number, then we give the remedy.
Now, previously you mentioned numerology as well. Now, how does numerology connect to karmic debts?
There are 4 karmic debts in numerology. Okay, so now again, there are different schools in this. If I ask you, in this thing, Pythagorean numerology, there are karmic debts in numerology presents unresolved lessons from past lives that manifest in specific areas like love, health, wealth. These debts are associated with 4 numbers. Supposedly, your total of the date of birth, your date of birth is 13. Okay, so that is, you are born with 13 by 4 in your date of birth. There are 4 numbers which are karmic debts: 13, 14, 16 and 19. So my date of birth in total comes to 19. Wherever these numbers come, 13, 14, 16, 19, will stop there, will not reduce to one root number. So if someone's date of birth is 13, 14, 16, 19, that person is born in the BD only. BD means birth date only with the karmic date number. And going further, if Bhagwan na kare, God forbid, if that person's life path also comes to 13, 14, 16 and 19, that's another karmic date number. Okay, so your core is clear, you have your birth date is 3 and your life path is 8, so you are someone who's a very creative person, who's a very goal oriented person, and you don't listen, you don't take no as an answer from others. You have to it is your way or highway. I how you tell me how wrong is that or how right is
We'll
that?
leave that for my husband to answer, but if I was to answer that,
I am a very good person. Birthday 3 will say we are a very good person, but no, they can't. They are actually source of fountain of new ideas. Now I just told you that I was not able to log in into this. My daughter, she's aspiring to be a psychologist, and she's too good in all this. She's too good in designing. She too is too good in marketing. So you name it, and she have that thing in her, and if she's interested in anything, she will learn it. So number 3 people are capable of that, and with the combination of life path 8. Sorry, me myself, my work. This is how it goes.
so no, I found I have. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Yes, it is like that. I'm very strong-headed. I assume that's the best way to put it. But yeah, okay, I'll go with your.
No, I am not. I have not yet calculated your total of the name. So also. Over here we were talking about karmic debts. I'll come back to that, but I just want to add one thing over here. In numerology, there is something known as core. Okay, so in core, when it comes to basic chart when someone is born, okay, the date of birth and the life path. Someone is born, people come to me, okay, fine, Nidhi, we have to keep name for our kid. What to do? Okay, fine. What I'll do is that I'll just make sure that person doesn't have any karmic debt in the BDLP, though I don't have any control. That person is born, that kid is born. Okay. Now I'll make sure that kid's name total goes well with the life path. And the name total, there is one thing is name total and one thing is name vowels total. So expression and soul urge. Expression, how you will be behaving, how people will be looking at you. Soul urge is what will be your internal thought process, and what your wishes will be, that wishes which you will not be telling it to others. So in all these 4 numbers there are no karmic debts. We make sure that. But further, then there are essence. There is something known as essence also, जिसको हम हिंदी में योग भी कहते हैं. That is advanced chart thing. Okay. So I'm coming back to karmic debt numbers. Karmic debt number 13. The core lesson is hard work, discipline, overcoming laziness or shortcuts. Because in some lifetime, this person may have pulled others down, not behaved well in the relationship, was not disciplined. Relationship may feel like constant efforts. Challenges in maintaining harmony due to lack of patience or shared responsibilities. There can be effects on health, effects on wealth. Obviously your mind is not intact, you are lacking in self-care. There can be digestion issues also. You don't know, there is a pattern of not following the structure, the discipline in life. You will have this financial stability requires consistent effort in this case. So now it seems scary, but there are celebs also, like Mukesh Ambani have a karmic debt number in his name, but he have learned that in his date of birth, I guess. But he has learned that lesson, and he has overcome that, and we all know that where he has reached, and as a market leader. So many celebs have karmic debts in their birth dates or in their name also, but they definitely work on it, learn the lesson, and then they just have emerged as a world leaders. Now it is also a matter of debate on each person's date of birth, what was their total of the name, and what was the yoga, what was the essence which was going on. So when it comes to 14, again, 4 is what? Structure. 1 is what? Discipline, taking decisions. So balance was not there, lot of moderations, flirty nature, because 14 by 5 gives a 5 number. So person was not structured. Your wife, my wife, tendency to seek freedom, that leads to difficulty in long-term relationships. They definitely have a lot of impact on their relationship and strenuous relationships. 14 by 5. Vulnerability to addictions. It could be anything: food, alcohol, unhealthy habits, shopping कर रहे हैं तो shopping ही करते रहे. 14 by 5, they're not able to. I have gone through this yoga from last 3 years and I spent like anything. I know that this was my yoga going on. I have done the name correction also. But even after doing name correction, Shruti, I would like to add here, people think that, life will change 360 degree. Life definitely changes. But you have to also, I always tell my, clients that, okay, fine, I'm doing a name correction, but this yoga is going on. So you have to take care of these patterns and you have to break those patterns along with the name correction. If we are doing any ritual, if we are doing any remedy, they definitely work, but it's not a magic wand. If someone doesn't have 5 number in the Losho grid, okay, in the balance is missing, stability is missing, that person will say, okay, fine, I'll keep that mountain ki picture and I will do whatever I feel like doing. This won't happen. You have to align your thought process with the remedies which you are doing. So coming forward to karmic debt number 16, it's the most difficult karmic debt of all the karmic debt.
Which one?
16. We call them 13 by 4, 14 by 5, 16 by 7. 16 by 7, 6 is what? Family, responsibility, compassion, nurture. Venus number. Okay, but 6 is not just about Venus or not just about wealth. 6 goes long way when it comes to taking responsibility of your family and giving and making sacrifices in your life. So when you have done something in your some past life, not valued relationships, often due to ego clashes, lack of emotional depth, partners may feel disconnected or may feel cheated, or you have cheated your partner or not given that adequate respect and not led a responsible life when it comes to parents or siblings. This karmic debt come in your life, and this is one of the most difficult karmic debts, because this person will, out of, if I say 100, I have seen 95 cases which face relationship issues, be it from their spouses or their parents will not be loving to them as they are loving to their other siblings, and with the siblings also. So 19 by 1 is the most easiest one, because in 19 by 1 all you have to learn is to give do unconditional giving. 9 number is the compassion number. So in some lifetime, you have kept the calculations, someone even not have asked your help and you have given that help, and you were like, oh my god, I've done this so much for this person and this person is not even saying thank you to me. So you have to learn selfless giving and just keep your ego on check, because there is double 1 in that. 19 by 1 comes to 1 with 19 also is there, and 19 also comes to 10 and then comes to 1. Lot of ego clashes for this person. I myself is with life path of 19 by 1. In all the karmic debt numbers, now people say, mujhe kya problem aayegi? I don't know. I will ask you what problems, what concerns you are going through. If there is a pattern of wealth blockages, I will give you remedies for that. If there is a pattern of relationship blockages, I will see what is the yoga, and I will be giving you remedies for that, so on and so forth. So this is how it goes when it comes to karmic debt numbers. But I will again add up here. You say anything, be it missing numbers in Losho grid, be it karmic debts in it. But if you are someone who is, not controlled by, bad habits, or you are a person of discipline and structure, one can always beat the things which are missing in their life. But definitely, if someone, there was an example of a client of mine, and she is living alone here, and her husband used to live somewhere in some other country because of work and all. That person was having life path 3 and name total 5, and the karmic debt was going on 14 by 5. A clear yoga of going into some other relationship. The mind will start working like that. The people who are having 3 and 5 in their core are usually not able to stick to one thing. They will be ever moving, ever changing, something new. That doesn't mean that they will be jumping onto relationship or they have to or they should be jumping into the relationship, but one have to understand that they will be needing or looking forward for newness. And on the contrary, this person, this lady is having so many of fours in her chart. Life path 4, date of birth somehow 4, her name total I think so 13 by 4. So she is what, someone having OCD issues. ऐसे नहीं होगा, sit here, do this, do that, and that person is seeking freedom. तो किसकी गलती है?
So do multiple numbers also play an effect on somebody? Like you said, this person had multiple fours,
Yeah, that is overload of numbers. That person, देखो, now people also say I have listened to many podcasts that 4 number is not good or 8 number is not good. No, it's not like that. If someone is living in the 4 house, that person house will be having energies of lot of structure, beautification, buying new things and keeping things if there is a particular space for keeping your detergent powder, that has to be there only. Okay, but that doesn't mean that house number is not good for that person. With the house number 8, if someone is going in the house number 8 and someone is already flourishing, Shruti, the same thing will continue there. Number 8 is also the number of master number and clearing the karmas. So now if someone have 4 times 4 in the chart, that person might be behaving like 6. Overload of 4 could be 6. That my person might be behaving like, you don't know, can be behaving like 7. Too much of structure and not emotional at all, and only is bothered about their growth in life. I want to add one example here. So there is an example of a very famous Bollywood star. Her date of birth is 3, her life path is also 3. Kareena Kapoor. And how does she behave? Creative, ever-changing. She has reduced her weight twice or thrice now. So a person with such kind of number can work like that many people are fighting with that they are not able to reach to their optimum weight, or they are not able to balance what they want to do. But this lady, because of her 3 number, she whatever she thinks of, whatever she wants to do, she go ahead and she just achieve that. So depending on, again, person to person, how their upbringing is, from where they are coming up. Now if I say that some kid is number 3 and number 5 in the life path, and that kid is not getting structure in the house, parents are always fighting, how that kid will behave in the relationships? You tell me. That kid will not be balanced. So there are a lot of things which goes in the consideration when we talk about someone. I just can't say, okay, fine, your date of birth is this and you will be behaving like this. There are a lot of things. There are karmic lessons also. You are going through a phase. Which phase are you going through when it comes to your life path periods? There are n number of things which I look at.
This is just incredible, because there is so much to learn about this, and it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop at the date of birth.
I am still learning. Every day I'm learning. We have also now, started something like there is something known as nakshatra and the connectivity with the runes of nakshatra, and which runes is, you are having which nakshatra, and you're born on which nakshatra, and which bind rune will be good for you, which mantra you can do for that nakshatra, and what are your do's and don'ts in your life. So as astrology is there, or as numerology is there are endless things. If you keep on researching, you can end up, there are always something new to learn. And not to get confused, by doing simple remedies of Losho, by doing things like name correction if your yoga is not going on, and if you are not able to do the name correction, learning the lessons or the patterns from which you are going through, and doing simple remedies. Sometimes people cannot do the name correction. So what we do is that we give related remedy of the karmic debt which is going on. Then also it starts working, things start working in them.
Now I'm going to look at pranic healing as well, because you're also a pranic healing, you're an expert. Essentially, so what is pranic healing and how does it help?
If I say in a layman language, pranic healing is like a deep cleaning and recharge for your energy body. Just as we wash our hands to stay physically clean, pranic healing clears out the invisible dirt in our energy field. This helps the body heal itself faster, reduces stress, and brings a sense of calm and balance.
So, what are some of the techniques then used in such sessions?
There are, color pranas. There are crystal energies which we use in such sessions. The basic thing which is important is that scanning where the energy feels heavy or stuck. Cleansing, removing the stuck energy, like dusting off cobwebs. This is a term which we use in our pranic healing. Energizing, adding. Now we have done the scanning. I know that which chakra is blocked. What is the issue? Obviously, you will tell me, Nidhi, I have this XYZ concern, and then there is a protocol to do the cleansing, energizing. So, energizing, adding fresh energy or prana to recharge the body.
So, can anyone learn it, or is there a specific way to learn this?
I want to share one story here. As I told you that I learned Losho, then I learned numerology, and there are certain other things which I keep on learning. From 2 or 3 years back, one of my followers said he was taking remedies from me for his relationship and all. He said, Nidhi, ma'am, there is something known as pranic healing. I said, okay, fine, what is it? And I wasn't aware of it, and it is something related to Reiki. He says, yes, it is Reiki only, but they work on color pranas, and that's something different. I said, how is it possible? How someone can learn it? I am not at that level that I can learn it. And then now this year, there is one more client of mine, and she contacted me for some reason, and I was aware that she's also in pranic healing. I said, okay, fine. Naza, I want to learn. Can you give me the number of the center? She said, okay, ma'am. I went there. And believe you me, from last, I started learning it from end of the September. And the changes I have got in my own self. Shruti, I think so. I was missing knowing myself as a person. Absolutely anyone can learn it. You don't need to be gifted or having any prior experience. It's taught in such a structured way that anyone can pick it up and start helping themselves and the others.
What about numerology? Is that also the same case? Can you learn that too?
I am someone who was very bad in maths. As you know, numbers, I can't learn it. And yes, I gave very hard time for my first guru, who's my friend also. And then I learned again from numero scientist Priyanka Gode. And now so things are in my head like anything. It is, dekho, I was thinking about this question that you might ask me this. I am so proud of myself, thanks to Baba, because we generally do a lot of negative self-talk that we are not worth it. We are less than this and we are less than that, and such things are happening on the internet. Okay, fine, they are reaching somewhere else, and I have reached to this much followers only. Followers is not the criteria of your success. How you are perceiving and how you are talking to your own self, and if you are learning something, if you are going into something new, what is the level of efforts you are going to do? When I started learning numerology, I didn't used to sleep for till 1 a.m. 2 a.m. Okay, I have to study this. This concept is not clear to me. I have to do it again and again and again, and I have to study. There is a manual in front of me. There is an example in front of me, and I have to learn it. This is the zeal which you should be having in everything you do in life. If you have that zeal, definitely there is a connection. There is a life purpose. You are chosen. If you are coming into this field, because it is not easy with the competition nowadays going on. You name it and you throw a stone and there is a healer there. So everyone is not a healer. Okay, I am surprised with the people charging 40,000 rupees for a healing session. Why? I know I am giving this is my full-time job now. If I am sitting here from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, I need to get something to run my house. That's fine. But maybe I'm going off the topic, but looting people because you're a healer, this also comes into the aspect of learning and how good healer you can become. If you're taking this much of charges from people and they cannot afford it, and layman person cannot afford it, how far will this knowledge of yours will go?
It's very interesting you say that, because then it becomes really difficult for somebody to identify a genuine healer versus somebody who's just looking to make money, if that makes sense.
That's what I said, that I can't comment. So everyone, my guru, okay, she's always have made us understand this thing, that nothing is free. obviously you will come to me. If you know, there are many clients now also who come to me and tell me, okay, fine, Nidhi, this is the financial issue which is coming to us. I can give free to some extent, okay, but on the next level I will tell them, okay, fine, this is the fee, you can give in 2 EMIs or 3 EMIs. I am not going anywhere. Your conscience is with you. So, you know, realizing that someone is genuine or not, that is also not, I can't make a comment on that. All I mean to say that you can learn anything. You have to have that passion, that zeal. When I learned pranic healing, why I went and learned there? I am doing numerology, I am doing feng shui, I am doing tarot, runes. I'm having so many of tools to give you to your life to be flourishing. But I felt that there is something missing. Maybe I can do more. And when I am into pranic healing now, I think that my 70% of my healing sessions are going into pranic healing only. It's not that I am taking money from everyone. Someone says that, okay, fine, I can't afford it and I'm having this much of pain. And I said, okay, fine, I'll do it for you. I'm no one, I'm just a vessel. He's the one, you know, he's the one who's doing everything. I am just a vessel. So every person have their own passion, have their own goals where they have to reach, and how structured, how disciplined, how passionate you are to learn of any modality, that depends on person. But numerology is very easy. It's difficult also and it's easy also, because even after learning, you know, there are different cases and you have to read the chart and get to know, okay, fine, what is the main concern, what you can really actually do for this person to help them change their life. Even after doing name correction, even after doing remedies, your karmas will be there with you. You cannot change my karma. I can help you to give you tools to become a better human being. If you are financially better, you will try to be compassionate with other person. You will try to behave well with your maybe in-laws. So you are healing your karmas there, and your time phase is improving. So there are a lot of things which goes in healing.
You mentioned pranic healing. People go through pain. I assume this pain is physical.
It can be anything. Emotions like stress, anger. I was having a case, wanted to commit suicide. Okay, we have psychotherapy cleansing in that. Okay, people who are having reported everything like back pain, migraines, you know, eye diseases, eye infections, anything, you name it, and we have a protocol for that. Black magic. Although pranic healing clears these blocks, so you feel lighter and you feel more in control of your emotions. You feel more of, I don't know how the magic happens, but definitely there are things. There is a energy which is connected to your spiritual cord, and when your chakras are cleansed and the new prana is filled in that really help you. You know, people start sleeping better, they have less of pain, they have less of emotional. When I talk to them in one session and then I talk to them in another session, they are chirping, they are happy. And then, you know, the faith is instilled. Oh my god, we don't say that we pranic healers cannot become doctors, but doctors can become pranic healer. So we are not replacing, you know, medicine here. Alongside medicine, this traditional treatment can go.
So hold on a minute. You mentioned black magic. Does black magic truly exist? I mean, I've heard about it so much.
Shruti, black magic is not very easy thing to do. Okay, black magic definitely exists, but it also depends that are you just feeling now. There is one case, and there was a woman who is little, you know, what do we call it, paranoid, है ना, कि my in-laws are doing something on me. So black magic definitely exists, but that depends that what to say. I am not you know, advocating it here, or I'm not saying that, you know, it should be done. But if it is done, it is really it can be really create a bad impact, negative impact in your life, but it is not very easy to do. What we perceive in pranic healing or energy cleansing, black magic as psychic attack or blockages in one's aura or chakras. So when it comes to, yesterday only I had a client, and her solar chakra, her Ajna chakra was so depleted that she was making up things. Then I try to talk to her. Then I try to, ask her points. Okay, fine. You think this way, this way, this way, this way about your in-laws, about this way about your in-laws. Then I try to do, some chakra cleansing for her, like protective ritual, prayers. So she was really calm at the end. She said, okay, fine. Maybe I can see things from different perspective. Because black magic, supernatural, occult power, everyone cannot do that. And if someone is doing that, uh, it's not very easy to survive. So you cannot sit in front of me, you can, and I have a black magic. It's very powerful.
So if somebody else is doing it, then they're coming and then they come to you for healing, I assume.
Okay. If someone else is doing it on, if someone is doing on someone.
When you discuss black magic, okay, I come from Africa. So for us, black magic is for somebody does bad stuff on another person. Then obviously you got to get out of that. You go to a healer, right? So do you heal them or do you do the black magic?
If someone comes to me who does black magic on others, or if someone have that black magic energies and come to me.
They've got the black magic energies, they come to you for healing, right?
That's what I'm saying. If someone have that, dekho, now that needs very high level of spiritual cord. Okay, to be very honest, I have not come across such a person who has come with the black magic at this level. It is very difficult to handle.
That's very interesting. Now, what role does meditation play in enhancing the effects of pranic healing?
Meditation supercharges pranic healing. It helps you absorb more energy, makes your aura stronger, which means faster and deeper healing. Now in our sessions, mostly we try and in most of the, this is a distant healing basically. Okay, if you have taken, there are certain concerns, like someone have back pain, someone have migraine. I am also doing pranic healing for the kids who are not able to focus or who are not obedient, when it comes to their parents. So we tell them to please, play this super yoga meditation in front of your kids. And this is the time while I'll be doing pranic, will be projecting the energy. So I give the parents or the patient to do a meditation on twin hearts, which is about 20 minutes. So deep breathing and twin hearts, and the approval, that acceptance that okay, fine, Nidhi is doing our healing, that receptivity of yes, okay, fine, the healing is being done and I believe in that. And there is certain process which I ask them to follow. You have to be, obviously not, I'm doing a healing, you should not be eaten non-veg or have taken alcohol on that day. So such practice is asked when I'm going to do a session for you on that day. So I always ask my clients to be hydrated, to not to have alcohol, not to have non-veg. Listen to the meditation, because it's not just about me who will be doing some kind of magic or healing on you. It is you also who have to be a participant in your own healing. I also created an auric shield for that person yesterday, and I told her for 3 days you don't have to think anything negative or be angry, otherwise this auric shield will be broken. She said, okay, so I don't have to think anything bad about my mother-in-law. I said, yeah. So it is more of psychological problem rather than you thinking that okay, fine, I also take classes and workshops for evil eye, and I tell them okay, fine, we also give evil eye to others. Someone is coming in front of us wearing a beautiful Burberry coat. What will we say? Oh my God, pata nahi kahan se paise laate hain. We have given that evil eye to that person. Most of us, 99.3% is giving an evil eye by eyes only. Not even saying anything, just thinking XYZ things. So where is that karma going? You are thinking XY things about someone and then going to the temple. What God will say to you? We can't even think about how the universe, when we are sitting and doing negative self-talk, that's universe is listening to you and giving you the same vibrations back and the experiences you are getting as per your thought process. This is the most easiest thing to follow, to be in the mindfulness. I cannot be positive 24/7. I have a very good example here to tell. I heard this interview of Shah Rukh Khan and someone asked him कि आप जब परेशान होते हो तब आप क्या करते हो, कहता है ना मैं अच्छा सोचता हूँ ना मैं बुरा सोचता हूँ. I don't think anything. So sometimes you cannot think anything. You cannot be positive all the time. Oh my God, people are so nice. I have to love them. I have to give them good vibrations. You cannot think that every time. There are actual, real reasons that okay, fine. Maybe you are going through some tough phase because of someone have cheated you or some family member has said not good words to you, and you are in a real stress. At that moment, you should be only. Heart chakra is the most easy chakra to get imbalanced and balanced. Just start listening to any good music, doing anything which you like, playing with your pets or with your kids or watching any good movie, and just calm yourself down rather than giving the evil eye or thought process to that person, because that will come back to you.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. Now, if somebody is skeptical when it comes to pranic healing or even alternative healings, what advice would you give them?
I say, why not try it? Because there are people who come to me and I can feel that even from their message that they are not very receptive. So it is non-invasive, safe, often surprising. So many you use words skeptics I have worked with who have become believers even after just one session because they felt the difference. I felt, Nidhi, something in my below my stomach. I said I was clearing a solar chakra. So sometimes experiencing is believing, all I can say. Otherwise, I cannot. If you don't want, if reaching or going to a healer is also, that there is some time which has come for you to revive from what your current circle. That's only then you will be reaching to a just healer, not any healer. There are many healers in the market.
Is there any situation or time when pranic healing should be avoided?
It's not a replacement for medical treatment. For serious issues like heart issues or broken bones, always consult a doctor first. You cannot have blind faith or anything. Sometimes now there was a case and my maid son was bleeding because he has cut his leg off because of some accident in he was driving a cycle and all. So I told her, okay, fine, immediately take her to doctor, take him to doctor, and simultaneously I was sending the healing of stopping the blood. So that's how it goes. We never say that we are replacing the medical treatment. We always say that we are addition to that, and in many cases we have seen like cancer also that helps to making the aura stronger, which means the medicines which also you are taking are faster and they are healing. Then that goes hand in hand.
Thank you, Nidhi ji, for coming on this podcast. I've learned a lot from you, particularly pranic healing, because that was a very new topic for me. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Shruti, for inviting me here, and Jai Baba.